Well, good morning, glue troopers. And yes, I have the B25 on the coffee table because I have no place else to put it. And it's right there by my model Ember 190, which is a Pacific Miniatures. I did not build that one. My wife got that for me shortly after I qualified on the 190. So here we are, back in what we call the pilot room. And I know I said there probably wouldn't be anything this morning because I got to get to work on putting together some things for the live stream. And of course, also, I want to get some model building in today and see how that Rust-Oleum's doing on drying, hardening, if it's still tacky. And memory serves me right, it could be tacky for a while. So I might hang the astronaut up in the interim just without his backpack, just sort of like on a tethered spacewalk, just so he's not on the counter, free of the counter space, and so I don't bump into him and do some silly damage like I'm prone to do. And I was wondering this morning, I remember in my high school chemistry class, and just to keep this in perspective, we're talking about Jimmy Carter was in office, probably 78. And there were, I forget if it was 5 or 7 chemical catalysts. I can remember a handful of them offhand. I thought about looking it up, but I never researched these mornings. These are literally completely off the cuff. If I start doing my research before I come out here and start talking, then it kind of loses its spontaneity. I'd probably be more technically correct about things, but then it just becomes a homework assignment, right? That's what the history videos are for. That's for the research and the air race videos, which I am still working on. I was reading up on that on the last trip. So anyway, in chemistry, I forget if it's 5 or 7. I believe they were called chemical catalysts. I remember one was light, temperature, or heat. I forget if time was one of them. I don't know if liquid or water, or I'm not sure. Uh, After this, I'll probably go look it up. I might even post them up here. No, I'm not, because you know what? I got things to do. This is going to be a raw dump. This is going to go straight on the Wi-Fi without any editing, beginning or ending or anything. I'm just going to load this because I got lots of things to do. So somebody, the reason I got into all this was someone had made the comment that you cannot leave the adhesive tape on the clear parts too long. I think one person had said 4 days. After that, the adhesive bonds more to the acrylic than it does to the paper. And I did have those, it was Tamiya tape. I did have the hand cut Tamiya tape um, on the model for over a week. Maybe 2. I don't know. It was a while. I'd have to go back and look at this first picture when I put them on versus when I took them off. But that might explain. So I would say modeler's tip for the day is don't mask something off until you're ready to shoot it. Give it that clear coat, let that harden, and then get right to work. And my cunning plan was to build the whole model, have that all taped off, and then shoot it all at one time. So of course which is the way most of I think do it. I know some people shoot their canopies separately and then put them on, but I want to try to seal some of the gaps for all the good that did. And I mean, it looks okay now that it's been cleaned up, but I could have saved myself a lot of work. I've seen a few videos of guys who use like this, I forget what it is, 2000 grit or something. They actually polish all their acrylic parts and get this beautiful shine on them. And if I could stencil off and paint canopies crisply enough, then I would probably do that, something like that. But mine, they look, like I said, they're good 3-footers. 3 foot oil, they look okay. But the minute I take pictures and zoom in, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like, I was coloring outside the line with crayons. And I just received another B25 with the glass nose that was converted to the gun nose. So the nose glass is all painted over. But the rest of his canopy and everything, I even asked him how he masked those off because it looked perfect. Some of you guys, the work you do, and maybe it's old eyes, big hands, and a slight lack of patience, but I'm really impressed with some of the work you guys have submitted. And that thing is again, we don't judge here. We're not, it's just when you see beautifully done work, you cannot help but admire it. And of course, sometimes when I see one that's done a little more, less perfect, kind of wonder if the person didn't have a little more fun. I don't know. I wonder if there is a corollary between um, uh, the amount of exquisite detail versus the amount of just pure joy. Something, a joy versus perfection meter. But I know there are some people who get their joy from perfection. So there's that. You'll hear I've been using the word joy a lot lately. And I think it's just a sign of, starting to realize that this is a hobby, and there's enough crap in life. You find your joys where you can. And I just want to make sure that people are finding a way, for this channel where models are concerned, but whatever your other hobbies are, if it's, reloading ammunition or going to the range and punching holes in paper targets, or pinging the steel, or, driving a race car. Or I know some of you guys are hockey guys. You get out there on the ice, and when I communicate with you after you've been on the ice, I mean, you got an ear-to-ear grin on your face. It's just so long as you're getting some pleasure and some joy out of it. That's and I start realizing that all of these things we do, all these sports and activities and everything, and it helps me understand why I don't follow sports that close, but I understand why people, they know all the stats of sports players or movie actors or whatever, because they derive pleasure from it, they derive joy from it, and life will beat you up enough. Make sure to enjoy it. Thus, the root word joy. And I am thrilled. I mean, genuinely thrilled that there's a cadre of people out there that find what I'm doing worthwhile, and are deriving some joy from it. Like I say, this channel, you've heard me say it before, I'll say it again. When it ain't no fun, it'll no longer be done. As long as we're having a good time, the internet still exists, and I'm here to do it. I have no end in sight. And as long as we don't run out of coffee. So, well, enough about that. We'll hope to see you tonight on the live stream. I'm just about finished here. And I'm trying to cut back on the uhs and slurps and everything. Even if they do find, make the channel more, endearing. Take care of yourself, guys. Hope to see you tonight. As always, model on.